Esther,
Yep.
are you done with the project?
Oh no, I didn't have time.
You didn't have time?
Yep.
You didn't have time? This was given to you like 2 months ago and you didn't have
I just
time?
told you I didn't have time.
You didn't have time or you didn't have time for it? Hello, amazing people. You're welcome to another splendid episode of Get Impeccable with me, Precious and Dean. And I will be co-hosting this episode with the one and only
Kennedy Esther.
Kennedy Esther, guys. So, guys, are you ready for what we have today?
Yep.
All right. So, do you always find yourself? Let's talk about what we always find ourselves, or most people find themselves talking about. I don't have time. Do you find yourself saying that, Esther?
Nope, I don't think. Because I rarely do say I don't have time.
Okay.
Because I feel I have time. We all have time.
Yeah.
We just don't know how to manage our time. So when I don't use I don't have time.
You don't have
Yes.
time. Okay, that makes a lot of sense because let's look at I don't have time categorically. You see that we all have time.
Yes.
And when you say I don't have time, it's like you have dying minutes. But when you look at the fact that we all have 24 hours, we all have the time. Now it's how we now displace the tasks within that time. It's like you have a bucket. Right? And you have to put a certain amount of water for it. And how you put the water or how you put maybe whatever you're putting in that bucket and how they're being placed will determine how well you get to use the time.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the other aspect of I don't have time for it, because we want to differentiate these two. We're going to be talking about I don't have time and I don't have time for it. Now, do you find yourself saying I don't have time for it? And when you say I don't have time for it, what do you mean by that?
Okay, I think I use I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Because when I say I don't have time for it does not mean I don't have time. It's just at that moment, at that point, I don't prioritize that particular situation.
Yeah.
Not like I don't care about it,
Yeah.
but at that moment, it does not just fit my time.
Okay.
So-
Now, I really love the fact that when you talk about I don't have time for it, it brings in the priority.
Yeah.
You see, when I ask you that scenario we played earlier,
Yeah.
I ask you, aren't you yet done with the project? So let's picture that as if that was in your mind.
Yeah.
And there's this part of your mind asking you, aren't you yet done with the project? And there's another part of your mind telling you, I don't have time or I didn't have time, right? So when your mind tells you I didn't have time or I don't have time, it shuts down all the aspect of reflection.
Yeah.
But if your mind would have said, no, I didn't have time for it, it now brings you to reflect. What do you actually prioritize?
And not just to me, but to you also
Yeah.
asking the question. 'Cause
Yeah.
if I had replied, I don't have time for I
it.
didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
You would have probably asked me, oh, what were you doing? And then I would have told you what I've been doing. What I've been doing that made me not to be able to complete that particular task at that time.
Exactly.
But then because I said I don't have time,
Yeah.
it just showed that probably you don't have time. You've not been doing anything
or you
what-
don't have time
Yes,
at all.
it's different.
It's different.
Yes.
So the aspect of I don't have time should actually we should actually learn how to tell ourselves the truth when it comes to time management, and especially when it comes to us having due dates or deadlines or particular things. Because when we tell ourselves, because take for instance, we have a project like the project we had earlier, and you've been given the deadline on the 31st of August. Once you see that, your mind tells you, oh my God, there's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Your mind tells you that like, there's a
I
lot
have
of time.
a lot of time to do anything.
Yeah, to do anything.
Yeah.
Then you don't know when, but you're already mid of August or like 2 weeks or 1 week to the deadline, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't have time. You didn't have time?
You actually did.
Really?
You had all the time.
You had all the
work on
time, but
it.
you didn't have time for it.
Yes.
So telling yourself I didn't have time for something or you don't have time for something causes you to reflect. And this a culture that we should actually
Emulate.
incorporate, emulate in us, to tell ourselves what we have time for.
Yeah.
Because when you tell yourself what you have time for, you're able to prioritize, able to like, okay, I can allocate these resources for it. And it also gets to like, make you think of like, what do you actually prioritize? Maybe you're allocating your energy to what is not really relevant. But when you just say, no, I don't have time, you don't even get to think. You're just like, oh yeah, time is flying. There's no time. So this the truth is time is always running.
True.
Of course, time is fast and today, tomorrow, but how do you use today?
How do you manage your time now?
How do you manage your time now? And what do you have time for is what is actually very
I actually
important.
think one of the things we should actually consider when it comes to time management is the kind of things we prioritize, the kind of things you really pay attention to.
Facts.
So now when you always do the irrelevant stuff, you prioritize the irrelevant stuff, you will end up losing your time. You will end up getting things undone.
Yes.
Now, and when you're so close to the deadline, you start making excuses like
I didn't have time.
I don't have time. I didn't have time.
How?
When we always, in fact, I think our life itself runs
time.
with time.
Yeah.
So how would you say you don't have time? You just did not have time for
that
this
thing. Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's one thing a lot of us should consider, especially in the projects we're running, our academics, whatever we're doing, making excuses to ourselves. Because the excuses we get to tell others, if we're not truthful to ourselves, it affects us at the end.
True.
Yeah, because if you tell people that I'm not a morning person, let's just take for instance, I'm not a morning person, and you actually tell yourself I'm not a morning person, that affects you. You see yourself, you're so sluggish in the morning, you can't do anything in the morning, and that's just an example. When you now tell people I don't have time, anything you're doing,
You end up not having time. Yeah,
you won't have time because you keep procrastinating. When you have the time, you see it as excess. Till when you want to actually wait,
you see it as excess. Yes.
Till you now wait till when there is not enough time, as you call it, to now have the adrenaline give you the energy to work on it.
That's true.
Just see your time as something of, at this point I have time for this thing and I work on it.
Yes.
I'm going to work on this thing because I have time for it at the moment. All right. So I think one thing about also understanding, as we've spoken about, is like prioritizing what we have time for. So more about you, Esther. What are the things you get to prioritize? Like, what do you get to have time for?
Well, I would say in as much as I really love my own personal time, like a time to myself.
Facts.
There could be time where I need to catch up with my friends. I need to talk to family.
Yeah.
All those things are kind of the things I would always prioritize.
Wow.
So when it comes to that, I think I just have to set out time, but not like giving all my time to this. Having in mind that I still have other necessary stuff I need to attend to.
Yeah.
So I think balancing the whole thing, learning how to manage your time, do this at there are people, like people always use this particular quote that you are doing the right thing at the wrong time. When I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, why are you doing the right thing at the wrong time? So learn how to do the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
So balancing the whole thing is what I would actually suggest.
Yeah. And so it's actually based on like what we have time for and what particular moment are we willing to give, and the resources. The resources come in place. When you have time for something, you get to put in the resources, the money if it needs money, the human capacity or whatever, just to ensure that you portray that you have time for it and for it to blossom. So yeah, dear people, what do you have time for? What do you have time for? This is a very important question that you should be able to ask yourself. Yeah. What do you have time for? And avoid telling yourself, I don't have time.
I don't have time.
Because we all have time, but it's what exactly do you have time for? That will enable you have a priority list and know how effectively to allocate your resources, and also know what exactly are you giving your time to which doesn't deserve it. So dear people, that's what you have from us here. Miss Esther, do you have anything to tell the people? Any last words?
Just finish off.
Oh, okay. So that's what you have from us, me and Miss Kennedy Esther.
Which one is the miss now?
That's what you have from us, from Esther and I. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, if you're still thinking about hit that subscribe button, please do like, please share, please hit the subscribe button. Please leave us a comment. What exactly do you have time for? And how often do you find yourself having the escape route or experiencing it yourself using the escape pattern of I don't have time? Until next time, amazing people, that's what you have from us. Bye.